Yeah.
So they got two stories out. One of them, both of them are not good stories. One is tremendously terrible, and that's the situation that happened in Atlanta. So if you haven't been watching the news, there is this guy, white guy, can't remember his name. He shot 8 people in Atlanta, all at spas, 6 Asian women, and 2 other people. I think they both were white. And of course, this is a racist situation. Clearly, it's a racist situation. Sexism as well, and
Yeah, or sexist. Yeah.
and but somehow, the media um only interview people who explain that, hey, this guy is not racist, this was not a racist situation, he has a sex addiction, and he identified these places as places that make his sex addiction like that makes it
Patient.
worse for him. Yeah, exactly. So he chose those places, to do what he did, as that was the reason why. And the dude said he had a bad day. I know that y'all are aware of that statement. um First of all, just to highlight the situation, this is terrible. You know what I'm saying? This is a terrible situation. Even if he said, yes, I'm racist, it's a terrible situation. It highlights a problem that's in America with Asian Americans, African American, Black people. We're not the only people that are oppressed in America. Everybody that's not white is. But it puts even more emphasis on how much things are not changing, even in this social justice era. When something like this happens, the people who are in leadership positions, the rhetoric that they use lets you know that they still don't see racism for what it is. I mean, it's actually it's pretty ridiculous. But
I think
Bruh.
they see it for what it is. They don't care. So to get up
yeah,
there and call something kung flu, and when we try to make any kind of plague or disease and attach it to a group of people, just like how they did with AIDS, they tried to say, oh, that came from Africa and the monkeys and the black folks was having sex with monkeys. And then they said, oh, it was a gay disease. And then you got this and you got Ebola, but it's always connected to anybody but Europeans, when we know that they spread so many diseases, especially when they conquered and pillaged through so many countries and worlds. And I think, that's another part of irresponsibility. And then we continue that rhetoric. I think in the Asian community, it's very difficult because just hearing some of them in their interviews, they're taught to not make a lot of noise. They're now saying, we've dealt with all of this going, people say things about our eyes, make fun of the way we talk and all these kinds of things, but they don't say anything about it. But also, because I was kind of confused on like what side of, okay, like I see a lot of people saying we stand with the Asian community. I get it. I also, but the thing that's big right now is that it's all down to white supremacy, regardless of what group. This is white supremacy, and white supremacy believes that they're supreme over everything. Like, but now I guess we're talking about it more, because before it was like y'all see that we're saying they're trying to be supreme against black people, but they're supreme against everybody.
Right.
That's what they believe. So I don't know. I don't want to say this the wrong way, because it's not that I don't stand with the Asian community, but we should all stand together, people of color, in unity
Facts,
against
facts.
white supremacy. I believe that
yeah,
wholeheartedly. But I also am like, you may not want to march, you may not want to yell, you may not want to do what black people are doing, but we're loud. We're being loud because our kids are being killed, because our men are being killed, because our girls are being raped and dying in the hospitals. Like, we have to be loud, because marching and praying ain't fucking working. you know
hmm
and it's like it's such a sad thing that these people were targeted. Yes, I believe it's because they were Asian, maybe it's because they're women, whatever it is, it's a hate crime, and they're not even trying this man as under it being a hate crime.
So this talking about like I think it was Capel or one of you mentioned that they don't even think or even understand that it's racism, like when it clearly is, and all of that type of stuff. So Republican Senator Brian Kelsey, this is him speaking about the Tennessee Constitution or whatever, because slavery
Part
uh
of the Constitution. It's illegal.
is still legal to basically enslave or have in servitude people that not just normal people, but if you're incarcerated or whatever. He said I just think it's ultimately fake history to be telling
Yeah.
our voters that next year that the 1870 Constitution allowed slavery. Senator Brian Kelsey, our District 31, said it clearly did not. And it was passed 5 years after Tennessee and the United States ratified the 13th Amendment, forever prohibiting slavery. So that to me, Mr. Speaker, is fake history. And for that reason, I'll actually be voting no. So he's still voting no, saying that
To get
to
rid
him,
of it.
yeah, like why is it in the Constitution then? Why are we trying to ratify or veto anything if it like you wouldn't even if it was
Need that.
fake, it wouldn't even be there. Like we wouldn't even
Right.
be having a discussion like that is man, that's it's crazy.
He wasn't the
Exactly.
only one.
Yeah, it
There
was
were
like
five
four
of
people.
them.
Yeah, 4 or 5
Ben
of them. Yeah.
Carson was one of them.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Hmm.
One of our own.
Hmm.
Well,
I
I
don't even
guess,
had no comment
hey,
on that.
just because all skin folk ain't kin folk or whatever.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, and when and you know when I say that they don't want to acknowledge it, I do know that there are people out there that just are racist and they use semantics, they use words to, get around what the discussion really is to make it seem like it's not racism. But I also believe there are people who are out there who, like this guy, who maybe he is racist. He could be a complete racist and knows exactly what he was doing, but he could also be somebody who thought he was being empathetic to a suspect and was explaining things in a way to try to humanize him, which is absolutely wrong to do in the way that you did it. There's nothing wrong with being empathetic to anybody, suspect or victim. But in that position, at that moment, what you say shouldn't have anything to do with humanizing that person. It should
Right.
be about the victims. And whether you want to say it's racist or not, whether you believe it's racist or not, it's not your opinion. Okay. you speak to what the optics are. And the optics say that this was a racist situation, that this looks like a hate crime. Your personal belief about it does not matter. So I mean, like I said, I'm not speaking that he was racist or not, but I do know there are people out there who will justify things and say, "Well, look, it was all massage parlors. He said you had a sexual addiction. It's possibly wasn't right." Like you, those people don't get it. Those people are the ones who don't want to acknowledge that this is racism is not just a belief; it is an action. I believe that a lot of people are racist by actions and don't want to admit to themselves that what they do or believe or some of the things that they do are racist. And to me that's the biggest hurdle is for the people who are racist but don't know it, getting them to actually acknowledge it. The ones who are truly racist, like fuck them. We like it, who's trying to convert them? Nobody's trying to convert them. We're trying to fight against them. But then you have the people who don't want to believe that they're racist because some of the things that they do, they don't want to accept it. And those are the ones that are, like, to me, the most dangerous.
That is dangerous because if you're going to say, "Oh, it was the massage parlor," these are the same people that think it's the flag. They think that's why people are
Yep.
kneeling. And I saw this week with even the March Madness, I saw so many bad comments about these kids and these games about like we need to take their scholarships. They don't need to be here. It hasn't changed because you're still putting the power in an object. You're
Yeah.
putting the power in this flag, putting your power in that building. This man had hate in his heart and he drove, and whether it was hate or whether he couldn't control his penis, this is what he thought was the great thing to do. And why did he think it was a great thing to do? Let's get down to the psyche of it. Of course, people have mental issues. You got to have a mental issue to do all of this, but it's still consequences. Like,
Mhm.
what is it and where did you get that this was the thing to do? And it's okay. I know 6 other people that had a bad day that day. Like
Mhm.
I came, that they had a bad day.
How is a problem with kneeling, just kneeling, peacefully kneeling? Those are the same people that have a problem with kneeling are the same people that was at the Capitol shooting bear repellent in the officers' faces and killing people and all of that type of stuff or whatever. So it's not okay to take this action that's it really an inaction. You know what I'm saying? But it's okay for you to go kill people and all of this other
Yeah.
stuff that you're doing, breaking in the Capitol building and all of this violence, that ensued or whatnot. You know what I'm saying? These people are idiots. Like I don't listen to them. Take their
Yeah.
scholarships. Like where are you with your power? You don't even have power. The scholarship, what the hell does the scholarship have to do with you? You know what I'm saying? Like, why are you even concerned about what some kids are doing and stuff like that? Like, you don't that's what really tripped me out about those people. They don't even realize how deep divide and conquer is. A lot of these people think that they actually have power just because they're white, and they think they have privilege, but you really don't. That privilege that you have is just a byproduct, you know what I'm saying, of capitalism or whatnot, and people wanting politicians wanting to get votes and stuff like that or whatever. You're not necessarily getting privilege because they like, oh, we got to take care of you and stuff. Like, you don't mean shit to those people. You know what I'm saying?
I agree, but I think racism is connected to power, right? I always say something about, I remember somebody saying, because my kids, kids now, and y'all being educators know, kids think everything you say is racist, right? You do this, oh, miss, don't do that, it's racist. My kids think I'm racist.
Yeah.
But someone told me once, was like, you're black, you can't be racist. And even there's two sides to that coin, right? Because I think we definitely can be ugly and hateful, and I think we definitely can have some biases. But when I think of racism, I think, can my biases change someone's life? Do I have enough power,
X.
or do I have a voice? So no, I may not have, some white people, and especially poor ones, may not have the economic power to change my life, but they still have that
They have
entry
backing.
door, that key, or that access to their voice being heard. They
Yeah,
do some
yeah.
things, they're considered a patriot, where I do some things, I'm considered a threat.
Facts.
And so it's still a level of, you're above me, even though I don't care how many PhDs I have. You could be in the trailer park, but your voice holds a little bit more weight than me.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
it's like, it is a little sense of a little power there. And so I don't know, but I think this is a sad thing, and I don't know if does I mean, it's not going to stop. Do more and more of these things have to happen? Is it going to have to happen to every person of color in a massive way, to where we all decide to unite together? I don't. What it was the answer?
I think